Hey my friends, welcome back to the channel. I am Huck, and today I'm taking on that new Rad 9 challenge, those TV and movie crushes I had when growing up. Now I'm a bit older than some of the ones taking the challenge right now, so the faces you're going to see in my video aren't going to be, unless somebody else in my age bracket takes this challenge, you're not going to see a lot of these faces in a lot of these challenges. So because of that, I hope you find it quite fun. So stick around. All right, I'm just going to dive into it. Again, these are TV and movie characters that made me fall in love with these actors. And the first one I'm going to start at number 9. I'm just going to go sort of the big physical crush I had from 1979, and that is Bo Derek from 10. Oh my gosh, it was just so beautiful. I mean, look at this girl, man. She got her cornrows running down the beach, and Dudley Moore's just fawning all over her. I mean, she just, her face was so beautiful. I mean, she had a great body, of course, but her face was so striking. She had those ice blue eyes, high cheekbones, and just captivating. So I definitely love me some Bo Derek. And yes, it was rated R, and I was underage. But you know, the good thing about having an older brother is he'll take you to a movie like 10, and you get to come across angels like Bo Derek. All right. Now at number 8, here's one of my TV crushes that I just thought she was absolutely adorable, and that is Maureen McCormick as Marcia Brady in the Brady Bunch. You know, it came out like in the 60s, but it reran a ton in the 70s. And basically, you know, I was kind of that age that she was. So as I was growing, she was kind of becoming that age that I was. And she's beautiful. You know, everybody loves Marcia, just like Jan was always jealous. You know, the classic Jan line, Marcia, Marcia, Marcia.
Marcia, Marcia, Marcia.
Right? Because it's all about Marcia, you know. But Maureen was so great in the role, and it was fun to watch all three of the kids grow up and have their little dynamic together. But who did not have a crush on Marcia Brady? All right, at number 7, we're going to get into some superheroes. My friends, look, Linda Carter as Wonder Woman is literally, I think, setting the benchmark of casting when it comes to casting a superhero character. I mean, she owned that role until Gal Gadot, you know, was cast in it much, much later. But man, she was absolutely pitch perfect. When you look at her face and her physique and just her personality, her aura, she really owned that sort of Diana Prince / Wonder Woman thing. And as a comic book lover and a fan of the cartoon Super Friends growing up, it's literally like Wonder Woman had come to life. And I mean, who doesn't love Wonder Woman? So Linda Carter right there at number 7. Now, coming in at number 6, we're getting keeping the TV love going, and that is Catherine Bach as Daisy Duke from the Dukes of Hazzard. Man, I love Dukes of Hazzard growing up with the Duke boys. Yeah, and their General Lee jumping ramps, smashing the front of the car. Next cut, car's in perfect shape. I'm like, wow, the car's got quite a suspension on it. But, you know, Daisy Duke was just so smoke. And I believe it was her that they coined the term Daisy Dukes when it was the cutoff jeans and all that. So she was the inspiration for those. And I got to see her on TV every week, and that show ran for quite a lot of seasons. And Daisy Duke, man, she was funny, she was gutsy, she was ballsy, she was like she wasn't just like a looker, she was like just really great. Like she stuck it out with the Duke boys, you know, whenever they brought her into the storyline enough. She was fantastic. Yeah. All right, so that is that one. Now, coming up at number 5, we're going to go Heather Thomas as Jody Banks from The Fall Guy, man. Oh, The Fall Guy with Lee Majors and Doug Barr. This show was tons of fun. It's all about stuntmen, you know. In fact, they're going to have that Ryan Gosling movie coming out this year. And boy, I really hope there's some kind of cameo, either Heather Thomas or Lee Majors. Like, I hope they do a little, you know, fan service in that film, because you wouldn't have the movie if you didn't have this TV show. And I love that Jodie Banks was the female stunt woman. So again, she's not just arm candy. She's not just the girl, the girlfriend who's always in trouble. Like, she sort of kicked ass. You know, she was the female stunt woman. Whenever they needed the female stunt, she was the character doing those things. And, you know, Heather Thomas, she was one of those posters that I always had on my wall. There's several of these women that were so striking for me. Yeah, you know, we had posters on the wall. You know, I don't know if kids put posters on their wall as much as we did back in the day, but Heather Thomas was definitely one. I know Heather Locklear is also like a fan favorite, but when it came to the two Heathers, I was just the Heather Thomas guy. I loved Heather Locklear as well, but she didn't make my top 9. But Heather Thomas, absolutely. And how can we forget Heather Thomas in the movie Zapped with Scott Baio and Willie Ames? Everybody remembers that pink sweater moment.
Wow.
All right, next up is going to be Christy McNichol at number 4. I knew her mostly from the TV show Family, playing Buddy Lawrence. There was something so earthy and approachable about her. Like, that's my type. Like when I look at Christy McNichol, the reason I crushed on her is because I felt like that's a girl that I could probably walk up to and talk to. It's probably a girl I would see in my school. Like, she just had a lot of relatability in her appearance. And of course, I loved her in Little Darlings with Tatum O'Neal. She was just on my radar as a kid. I even bought her album. I was so in love with her. Like, she had an album with her brother, Jimmy McNichol. And I bought that because I just was crazy about her, and I love that album. I played it all the time. So yeah, Christy McNichol, number 4. All right, let's get into the top 3. All right, number 3 has got to be Olivia Newton-John from Grease. Yes. Oh my God. Let me tell you, I didn't really know her much. Like, I may have heard about her name musically and stuff like that, but it was Grease and her playing Sandy that really introduced me and a lot of the world to the greatness that was Olivia Newton-John. I mean, even her, like, she had 2 personas in the movie, right? She had the sweet and innocent Sandy, Sandra Dee, and then of course the super sexy dolled up one near the end. And I think they're both great, but I loved that her bright smile, the sparkle in her eye, the innocence. I don't know, she was so desirable, not like in a super lusty way, but just in a cuddly, man, it's like, I just want to give her a hug, like, and ask her out kind of way. And she also had like her 80s presence too, when she started doing her pop music, like Physical, Let's Get Physical, and she had like the hairband and the leggings and all that. Kind of reminds me of you, Garrett, with that headband. Get it on, Olivia. But yeah, man, Olivia Newton-John at number 3. Now, the top 2, I mean, are not going to be a surprise given the era that I'm picking from. Number 2 is going to be Carrie Fisher as the one and only Princess Leia. Oh my God, just fell in love with this person. I even remember trying to figure out how can you write somebody a letter and tell them how much you like them and all that kind of stuff. Luckily, I have since been able to meet Carrie Fisher before she passed away a couple times to tell her how much I like her and her work and her writing. She's gone on to do like some amazing like polished work on scripts in Hollywood. But all that aside, I'm just talking about how adorable she was in Star Wars. And I was a humongous Star Wars fan. When I saw that film, it just blew me away. It was transformative. It made me want to get into film, come out to California and all that good stuff. It was just, it took my breath away. And Carrie playing the one and only Princess Leia, just absolutely. And then, of course, boy, when you got to Jedi and she's in the metal bikini, come on with that now. So that's that'll do it for you right there. Now, before I get to number 1, I do want to mention a couple of honorable mentions. Again, these come a little bit later, so they don't quite make I crushed on them for a long time. And I have later, you put them on the list people, but those aren't crushes anymore. Those are, put them on your list people. Like all my love for Courtney Cox and Joyce Heiser and things like that. But in the early 80s, as kooky as she is, I love Cyndi Lauper. It's 1983. I loved her quirky offbeatness, man. Like, and it was her and Madonna came out around the same time. But I just love her quirky weirdness. I also had a crush on Suzanne Summers, who played Chrissy Snow in Three's Company. She was always perky and plucky and super funny. She always put a smile on my face. And also Phoebe Cates from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Who didn't love themselves some Phoebe Cates back in the early 80s, 1982. I love the stuff with her and Jennifer Jason Leigh in the mall. That's hilarious. Of course, the pool. Who can forget the pool? So yeah, I'm going to give those three some honorable mentions because, like I said, it was more like I just really adored them more than crushed on them, but worthy enough to throw into an honorable mention category. All right. Let's get to number one. My number one crush growing up. I mean, this was so many people's crush. She's absolutely beautiful. This poster has got to be probably one of the number one posters of all time to hang on anybody's wall. And there's Farrah Fawcett from Charlie's Angels. She played Jill Monroe, and it was that character that I watched Charlie's Angels all the time. Even when they switched over to Cheryl Ladd, I thought Cheryl was really great. I like the other Angels as well. But there was something about Farrah Fawcett that really just took my breath away. And she was just absolutely gorgeous and stunning and just fun to look at. She had just a big old bright smile. And you know, when you get crushes on people like that, you want to see them in everything. So, of course, Saturn 3 comes out. I'm like, oh, got to see Saturn 3, which wasn't a great movie, but I got to see Farrah Fawcett in that. I believe, did she have also a tiny part in Logan's Run? I want to say, sometimes I get the sci-fi stuff mixed up, but yeah. So Farrah Fawcett definitely tops my list as my number one movie and TV crush growing up. All right, that is going to do it. That is my Rad 9 movie and TV crushes that I just am happy to share with you guys. And while you're at it, head over to the originators of this great challenge, the Rad Pack, with Justin, Mel, and Garrett. Go check them out, y'all. They're amazing. In the meantime, let me know in the comments below, who were your crushes? TV, movie, what are the characters? Not just the actor, but the character that made you fall in love and crush on them. All right, so again, if you're new to my channel and this brought you here, cool, welcome to the channel, y'all. Do me a favor and hit like, subscribe, smash that bell so you get notified every time I put up a new video. That's going to do it for now. And while you're here, give these videos a crush. It's totally stupid, huh?